Good morning. Welcome to the Lancaster County Board of Commissioners meeting for Tuesday, February 7th, 2023. Please join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Clerk, would you please start the announcements?
Location announcement of the Nebraska Open Meetings Act. A copy of the Nebraska Open Meetings Act is located at the wall of the rear of the hearing room. Additionally, all written materials discussed at today's open meeting are available for electronic viewing from the county clerk's staff. Printing options are available upon request. These materials can also be viewed at the county's website at lancaster.ne.gov. Item 1, minutes. 1A, approval of the minutes of the Board of Commissioners meeting held on January 31st, 2023.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Vest,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. Item 2, claims. 2A, approval of the claims process through February 7th, 2023.
Move approval of the claims.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the claims. Is there any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Vest,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. Item 3, special presentations, the Lancaster County Sheriff's Office badging ceremony.
This is a very special part of our meeting, and I would welcome Sheriff Wagner.
Good morning, and thank you for indulging us and allowing us to do these ceremonies in a public forum and with you. Normally, we hold our badging ceremony and our award ceremony separately. This year, it just worked out to where it's all at once, so thank you for indulging us and allowing us a little extra time to do that. I want to welcome all the deputies. There are a lot of employees, family, and friends here, and we want the opportunity to recognize those deputies promoted or achieving solo status in the past year. The badging ceremony will be first, followed by the awards presentation. A police officer's badge is perhaps the most visible and recognizable symbol of policing around the world. It's seen by many as a sign of authority, sacrifice, and service. Originally symbolizing shields used in battle, over time, badges came to identify the authority vested in public servants from the Middle Ages to the modern era. Law enforcement's most visible symbol of service has taken on an almost iconic meaning as the profession of policing has evolved. To the law enforcement officer, the badge represents the public trust which they have the authority to act and to which they have the duty to remain true. From a practical standpoint, officers wear badges to identify who they are and who they work for. Today, uniformed law enforcement officers proudly wear their badges to show their allegiance to the communities they serve and the pride they have in their agency and their profession. For newer deputies, the badge also represents the final goal of arduous training for recruits preparing to complete their law enforcement training. Earning the badge represents the culmination of a tremendous effort and achievement, as well as a new beginning in a new career as they complete field training and ultimately embark on solo patrol. In 1929, Sir Robert Peel established the London Metropolitan Police Force. He became known as the father of modern policing and established 9 principles that remain as relevant to our profession today as ever. They also serve as a backdrop for all we do at the Lancaster County Sheriff's Office. One of Sir Robert Peel's principles says the police at all times should maintain a relationship with the public that gives reality to the historic tradition that the police are the public and that the public are the police. The police are the only members of the public who are paid to give full-time attention to duties which are incumbent on every citizen in the interest of the community welfare. Today, surrounded by fellow law enforcement officers and citizens of the community you serve, you will pin on a symbol of that public trust and commitment. Wear your badge with pride and humility, knowing that the weight of its responsibility is supported by all of us. police and public and police, in the interest of the welfare of all who live, work, and play in Lancaster County. And congratulations to each of you and your families, and thank you for your service. At this time, I will recognize deputies. Please step forward as I call your name. Captain Michael Scriven. Captain Scriven was promoted to captain on September 8th, 2022, and currently commands our Support Services Division. Captain Scriven's badge will be pinned on by his wife, April. Sergeant Michael Hansen. Sergeant Hansen was promoted to sergeant on September 8th, 2022, and currently supervises the A-Team C shift in our patrol division. Sergeant Hansen's badge will be pinned on by Captain Vic. They're not letting me do that today.
Could be a little awkward.
Deputy Taylor Muirhead Castaneda. Deputy Muirhead Castaneda's badge will be pinned on by Captain Vic. Deputy Allison Peters. Deputy Peters' badge will be pinned on by Captain Vic. Deputy Shauna Schlint. Deputy Schlint's badge will be pinned on by Lincoln Police Officer Brianna Rumbaugh. Deputy Jacob Siebert. Deputy Siebert's badge will be pinned on by his fiancée, Lauren Hoft. Commissioner Yoakum will now administer your oath of office.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Allison Peters,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation or for purpose of evasion,
without any mental reservation or for purpose of evasion,
and that I will faithfully and impartially perform
and that I will faithfully and impartially perform
the duties of the office of Deputy Lancaster County Sheriff
the duties of the office of the Deputy
County Sheriff's Office,
according to law and the best of my ability.
according to law and the best of my ability.
And I do further swear that I do not advocate,
And I do further swear that I do not advocate,
nor am I a member of any political party or organization
nor am I a member of any political party or organization
that advocates the overthrow of the government of the United States
that advocates the overthrow of the government of the United States
or of this state by force or violence,
or of this state by force or violence,
and that during such time as I am in this position,
and that during such time as I am in this position,
I will not advocate nor become a member
I will not advocate nor become a member
of any political party or organization
of any political party or organization
that advocates the overthrow of the government of the United States
that advocates the overthrow of the government of the United States
or of this state by force or violence.
or of this state by force or violence.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Yep, you guys can sit down. Thank you. And now we move on to our awards presentation. Every year, deputies and citizens are, their names are submitted to our awards committee. We have a whole litany of different awards that we can award deputy sheriffs and citizens alike. So that group meets in December, and then we make the selection, and then we make the presentation before you. So first, a Citizen Certificate of Merit for Lewis Littlejohn, Nolan Fast, Zachariah Brown, and Steve Fankhauser. You gentlemen, come up. On October 6th, 2022, at about 10:30 in the morning, Zachariah Brown discovered a coworker on the ground and recognized he was having a medical episode. He summoned coworkers Lewis Littlejohn and Nolan Fast, who brought an AED and began CPR. Steve Fankhauser manned the AED. These life-saving efforts continued until Lincoln Fire and Rescue arrived. The victim was transported to the hospital, underwent surgery, and lived for 10 days before he succumbed to his illness. The efforts of these men gave the victim's family 10 days they might not otherwise have had with their loved one. Thank you for stepping up. Appreciate it. Thank you. Our next Citizen Certificate of Merit is for Scott Lubisher and Thane Young. I believe they're both here. Scott? Young is not here? Okay. On February 24th, 2022, Scott and Thang were northbound in separate vehicles on U.S. Highway 77 near Waverly Road. An SUV was in front of them, also northbound. Suddenly, the SUV was struck by a vehicle going southbound in the northbound traffic lanes. Scott and Thang were able to avoid the collision, then stopped to render aid to the SUV's driver. By this time, both crashed vehicles had started on fire. As the fire was raging, Scott and Thang helped extract the driver from the SUV and carried her back to an arriving patrol car. Without the quick action of Scott and Thang, the injuries to the SUV's driver would have been much worse. Both these men put themselves in harm's way to assist that driver. Thank you. Scott. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Our Exceptional Duty Award is, one of them is going to Investigator Tyler Lose. For the past 5 years, Investigator Lose has been assigned as a Violence Against Women Act investigator. This position handles domestic violence calls, stalking, crimes against children, and sexual assaults, among others. At any given time, Tyler has 30 to 40 active investigations going. In addition to a very heavy caseload, he is involved in many extra activities and responsibilities. One case that highlights the quality of work by Investigator Lose is the Taryn McKeithen case. This began as a child enticement by electronic communications case, spanned 18 months, identified 5 separate victims of child sexual assault, child pornography, and other crimes. McKeithen was charged with 32 felony counts, resulting in prison sentences of 100 to 125 years. Children are safer because of the work Investigator Lose did on this case and getting a substantial prison sentence for a dangerous sexual predator. Congratulations. The other exceptional duty award, another exceptional duty award is for our Deputy Jason Schneider. Don't believe Deputy Schneider is with us. Deputy Schneider, a 9-year veteran, was nominated for his overall work ethic and dedication to the Sheriff's Office. In addition to his normal patrol duties, he has assumed the added responsibilities of a member of our crash team. Those are deputies who investigate serious and fatal motor vehicle crashes. Our field force is a field training officer and taser instructor. He also teaches CPR, death investigations, and LSO policies to new deputies. If all this weren't enough, Deputy Sneeder leads the patrol division in criminal arrests and citations issued, resulting in 330 traffic and criminal charges being filed last year, the most of anyone in the office. He is a resource on his shift, writing search warrants for blood samples, phones, and court orders more than any other patrol deputy. His work ethic and dedication are an inspiration to all. Deputy Sneeder works third shift, so I'm sure that's why he's not here now. Exceptional Duty Award for Sergeant Drew Bolzer. Sergeant Bolzer currently handles our testing and hiring of new employees. We've all heard of the challenges in hiring these past few years. Drew has taken steps to hire throughout the year, initiating 3 entry-level and 3 lateral testing processes, upgrading our website, and implementing a new automated assisted recruiting software. He also continues to lead our crash reconstruction team and is the president of the Midwest Association of Technical Accident Investigators. He was asked to review a fatal crash involving a Nebraska state trooper and present before the grand jury. He's also been appointed by Governor Ricketts to the Police Standards Advisory Council, the governing body for the Nebraska Law Enforcement Training Center. His dedication to the Sheriff's Office and the law enforcement profession is evident as he goes about his daily duties. Congratulations. Our Life-Saving Award, Deputy Zachary Meyer, and our Agency Partner Certificate of Merit to Lincoln Police Officer Josh Fullerton. Zach here? I don't see Deputy Meyer here. On March 18th last year, at approximately 11:41 in the morning, dispatch posted a call for service on mobile data terminals in the patrol cars of a 54-year-old male having difficulty breathing at Highway 77 and Raymond Road. The call had not yet been put out over the air. Without being detailed, Deputy Meyer responded from 2 miles away. Shortly after his arrival, the driver became visibly blue and unable to speak. Shortly thereafter, the driver quit breathing and Deputy Meyer began CPR. Josh Fullerton, was off duty at the time, was driving by and thought that Zach was having a tussle with the driver and stopped to assist. Together, they continued life-saving measures until Raymond Fire and Rescue arrived. The driver was transported to the hospital where he was admitted and expected to make a full recovery. Thank you, Josh. Appreciate it. Another life-saving award for Deputy Jason Brownell. On August 2nd, 2022, at 0041 hours, dispatch broadcast an echo response, that's a person not breathing, to Lincoln Fire and law enforcement radio channels. Deputy Brownell overheard the broadcast, announced he was close to the address and responding. He was on scene 1 minute after the call came out, located the patient in the basement, not breathing and without a pulse. Deputy Brownell had an AED with him, but it indicated no shock. He then began CPR. LPD officers arrived and supplied Brownell with a Narcan atomizer. He administered the Narcan, and by the time LFR arrived, the patient was conscious and alert. The patient was reluctant to seek additional medical treatment, even with the urging of his mother and the paramedics. Deputy Brownell convinced the patient he should get checked out, and he was transported. Without his quick response, this patient would have surely died. Congratulations. Our next life-saving award is to Deputy Jordan Funk. I know Jordan's here somewhere. On November 1st, 2022, Deputy Funk responded to a medical emergency in Hickman. Upon arrival, Deputy Funk took over CPR from the victim's wife. Funk was unable to find a pulse from the 73-year-old victim, but continued CPR. After about 1 minute of chest compressions, the victim gasped and his eyes opened. He was transported to the hospital, and the outcome looked positive for his recovery. Good job. Our Meritorious Service Award is for Sergeant Michael Hips. On December 31st, 2021, at 11:04 p.m., so this is New Year's Eve 2021, deputies were detailed to a vandalism in progress in the 10,000 block of Martell Road. Initial information was a person in a red truck was driving over the victim's trees and tearing up his yard. Sergeant Hips was the closest unit and responded. During the response, the victim reported the pickup truck was now on fire. Upon his arrival, Sergeant Hips contacted the victim, who said there was a person inside the burning pickup who had pointed a rifle at him. At about this time, the driver of the pickup came around the side of the truck holding a long gun. Hips immediately gave the driver loud verbal commands to drop the weapon while directing the victim out of danger to a position of cover. For 8 minutes, until his backup arrived, Hips was giving loud verbal commands and creating distance between himself, the victim, and the suspect. Upon arrival of backup and the ability to provide cover, Hips retrieved his less lethal 40mm projectile launcher. The 40mm round was deployed, striking the suspect in the shoulder, temporarily disabling him. Deputy Hips and his backup were able to retrieve the rifle and restrain the suspect. Sergeant Hips was able to avoid using deadly force by strategically using the tools at his disposal to neutralize the suspect. This case is still awaiting trial. Congratulations. Another Meritorious Service Award is for Deputy John Brady. During the wildfires that spread throughout Lancaster County on October 23rd, 2022, Deputy Brady, himself a volunteer fireman with Hickman Fire, heard dispatch relay a mayday request from a fire rig that had been consumed by fire containing 2 firemen. Deputy Brady located the rig and the 2 firemen and saw both had bad burns. He placed both firemen in his patrol vehicle and transported them to a safe area for treatment by paramedics. One firefighter had first and second degree burns throughout his body. He was transported to the burn unit at CHI Health, where he expected to make full recovery. And I think he was just released from the hospital about 10 days ago. John clearly placed himself in a dangerous situation to render aid to other first responders. Thank you. Our Civilian Employee of the Year, Security Guard Tyson Poskachel. Tyson was nominated by two separate co-workers for personifying the core values and mission of providing exceptional law enforcement service to the citizens of Lancaster County. Tyson is bilingual and is able to overcome most communications barriers of people entering the building, as well as assisting people who come to our service counter. Tyson also developed a training program for our X-ray machine to allow other employees to comply with Nebraska regulations. He also volunteered to be our intoxilizer maintenance supervisor. This is a huge responsibility that affects every DWI case we investigate. Tyler's previous experience with UNLPD has qualified him as an expert witness. In addition, he runs marathons, volunteers at the Humane Society in Wahoo, and hand makes dog treats for Paws for Cause. His superior work ethic, positive attitude, and willingness to go above and beyond makes him well deserving of this award. Congratulations. Tyson's father, Ron, was the Saunders County Sheriff for many years. Deputy Sheriff of the Year is Deputy Amy Leeson. Deputy Leeson was nominated for her work as an accident reconstructionist on our crash team and a member of our joint LSO-LPD crime scene investigation unit, particularly with regard to her development as an expert on our Faro unit. The Faro scanner is a laser measuring system that creates a point cloud that maps and draws 3D renderings for court presentations. Deputy Leeson worked with LSO and LPD unmanned aerial systems, our drone pilots, to incorporate the drone point cloud into the Faro system. The aerial view of a scene taken by a drone can then be recreated using the Faro system. She has also taught 6 Faro classes to deputies, officers, and deputy county attorneys so that they know what to expect for court. Each class lasts 3 days, 8 hours per day. In May 2022, Deputy Leeson was awarded the MAD 2022 Hero Award for Crash Investigation and Reconstruction. In 2022, she responded to 16 incidents, either fatal crashes or crime scenes while she was off duty. She created a presentation of a multi-agency involved shooting that LSO investigated. She called her presentation Nebraska's Bonnie and Clyde, a multi-agency response. This was a shooting that occurred up at Highway 77 and I-80. In addition to presenting at our in-service training, she presented at a statewide conference and eventually at a national conference for the International Association of Identification. Deputy Leeson was elected to the board of the Nebraska chapter of the International Association for Identification in August. She's a 16-year veteran of the Sheriff's Office, having earned her law enforcement certification in December 2004. She graduated from Elmwood Murdoch High School in 2000, received her Bachelor's of Science degree from UNK in 2004, and has since earned her Master's degree in Forensics from Nebraska Wesleyan University. Congratulations, Amy. One of the things I didn't mention was that Amy has a day job as a patrol deputy, and then being an accident reconstructionist and a crime scene technician are all peripheral duties. So she puts in a lot of extra time handling those cases. Last but not least, there's honorable mention for our retirees from last year. We had 3 deputies that retired last year. Deputy Sheriff Dave Blythe. Is Dave here? Dave retired on March 1st, 2022, having served 29 years. Captain Thomas Brickhauser. I know Tom's here. Come on up. Rob, you want to come up? Tom retired on April 1st, 2022, after having served 32 years. Sergeant Rob Soflin retired on April 4th, 2022, having served 26 years. So altogether, about 90 years of experience walked out the door. We really appreciate your years of service and miss you guys. Thank you. Well, thank you all very much for, like I said, indulging us and allowing us to make these presentations in a public forum. I really appreciate it, and I know the employees do as well, so thank you.
Well, it is our honor, and we appreciate this recognition, certainly appreciate the service of every one of you. These stories today were amazing. Those of you who've been promoted today and are launching your careers, thank you so much for your service and your dedication to the people of Lancaster County.
Would just really like to echo that. And, you know, it just really is a great example of the integrity, your dedication, your courage, all of these things. And mostly, also, I guess I would like to say, I'd like to say thank you to the families of all of you, because they are really your support system. When you come home from a tough job, it's really, they've got to help you along, I guess, and support you. And so thank you to all of the support people. Thank you to all of the deputies and to the sheriffs and civilians.
I had the chance to meet some of the new deputies. Excited to have you guys joining us. They don't come, several of them though come with many years of experience, which is great. I just really appreciate how all of you guys are willing to serve our community, especially in a country that questions your authority at times and easily puts people like you on the front page of newspapers. I really appreciate your confidence and your willingness to lead and protect our community.
No, I just, your willingness to take on a tremendous responsibility, you know, one that gives us comfort. I've said this in many settings. It's a big community, a lot of moving parts. The role you all play is vitally important, and your representation of all of us day in and day out throughout our county makes a big difference in the lives of the citizens. The stories we heard today, and I know there are many other stories that didn't get told today, we're grateful for all of that. So thank you for the good work that you all do.
Second here for people to
Yeah, we'll wait.
move and let the chambers quiet down a little bit.
Boy, some of those were really fantastic stories.
Yes, definitely.
I don't know how she gets all of that done.
Pardon?
I don't know how she
Mr. Clerk, I think we can proceed. Thank you.
Of course. Item 3C, the Commissioner's Award of Excellence for December 2022 to Lindsay Thiessen, Community Corrections, in the category of productivity.
I believe she's outside waiting to come.
One way.
We have a one-way door here and quite a bit of traffic.
We had a big crowd.
It was great to have the chamber full this morning, but that we now have a little bit of a block here
Much
at the doorway.
difference.
Hey, Lindsay, just make your way on up here. Is Sean here? Yeah.
We could begin by reading the recommendation here.
Thank you, Chairwoman. Lindsay Thiessen, caseworker for Community Corrections, has been selected as the Commissioner's Award of Excellence winner for December 2022. Thiessen has worked for Lancaster County since January 2003 and for Community Corrections since December of 2013. She was nominated by Sean Stanzik in the category of productivity. In his nomination, Stanzik states, Lindsay has shown real dedication to the screening and expansion of all of our diversion programming. She shows a strong desire to help individuals who present difficult circumstances and always goes above and beyond her caseworker duties to try and help better their lives. Lindsay is patient with clients and treats each and every one with respect and dignity. She helps clients stay committed to their diversion programs, which at times keeps them out of jail, saving Lancaster County money. Lindsay develops good rapport with clients and gets to know what they may need to help better their lives and situations. She helped a client get their son enrolled in kindergarten LPS with a very short deadline to do so. She also helped get the son get a doctor and dentist appointments, so all vaccinations, etc., were up to date. This was outside what a caseworker would normally be asked to do. She wanted the client and his child she wanted to help the client and his child and put them in a stable learning environment. The impact she had on the child's life will be significant. For these reasons, we are pleased to award Thiessen with the Commissioner's Award of Excellence for the month of December 2022.
Listen, I tell you what, thank you so much for all of the for the dedication and for your service and professionalism in helping people overcome difficult situations. Definitely you've gone above and beyond, your duties. And that is one of the things that just has come to earmark, I guess you would say, many of the people of Lancaster County who work for them. So thank you so much for helping people improve their lives.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
I would just like to add, Lindsay she is reliable, she's dependable, she is always willing to tackle the big problems and ask questions about how to approach issues and situations. And that example that was in her nomination about helping that young man get his child enrolled in school is just an example of the work that we do in our department to try to chip away at that generational trauma and generational addiction, all those issues that come with the folks that come through our doors. And helping his son, it was probably one of the kindest things anyone has ever done for him. And to watch his face when we talk with him monthly at our meetings about the progress his child is making in school and how much he enjoys going to parent-teacher conferences. He had no idea how to do any of that. And Lindsay helped him figure that out. And it was an amazing, amazing example of what we do in our office to help the people who walk through our doors. So thank you. Thank you for being dedicated. Thank you for being reliable and that person that people know they can go to.
Thank you, Kim. Thank you.
Well, it's certainly, as I said earlier, our honor to be able to recognize you in this kind of way. Thank you for your dedication. And the work that you do in your department it makes such an impact on people's lives. And I also want to thank you, Sean, for recognizing Lindsay's skills here and what she contributes to the team, because that's a tribute to your leadership as well. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't have much else to add. You guys obviously read what I said, but it's a monthly award, but it's not. It's before that. It's continued since then, and our program, our community corrections has just expanded and changed so much, and we can get caught up, like as caseworkers or myself, in, hey, they violated this rule, move them along, send them back to court, put them in jail, whatever happens. But we have so many alternatives. That's what Lindsay looks at. She's like, hey, they're failing out of this program, but maybe they need a higher level of care. We have different programs that she will look at. She does an excellent job of communicating with Landon and myself about what can we do to help this person. And so that's, the one example I gave is hard to explain how much work that she did with that individual. And, just to see she does that consistently. So she makes my job easy is all I know as a supervisor. So.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Lindsay.
You may proceed, Mr. Clerk.
Item 4, consent items. These are routine business items that are expected to be adopted without any dissent. The individual item may be removed for special discussion and consideration by a commissioner or by any member of the public without prior notice. Unless there is an exception, these items will be approved as one single vote of the Board of Commissioners. These items are the approval of A, amendments to the following county contracts, Item A1, C-17-0953 with Aetna for self-funded employee benefit plan and stop-loss coverage. A2, C-21-0050 with Too Fast Supply Company for the annual supply of snowplow nuts, bolts, and washers. A3, C-21-0040 with Platte Valley Equipment Company for the annual supply of rental four-wheel and front-wheel drive tractors. A4, C-22-0377 with J&A Traffic Products for the annual supply of traffic channelizing and barricade devices. A5, C-22-0376 with All Road Barricades Incorporated for the annual supply of traffic channelizing and barricade devices. Item A6, C-21-0194 with Culligan of Lincoln for the supply and delivery of water softener salt. 4B, right-of-way contracts for the following. B1, Bradley C. and Geraldine L. Canower, South 134th Street and Van Dorn Street in the amount of $622. B2, Frank Farms Incorporated, South 134th Street and Van Dorn Street in the amount of $1,297. B3, L&W Land Corporation, South 112th Street and Pioneers Boulevard in the amount of $3,008. B4, Black Dog Cattle LLC, South 190th Street and A Street in the amount of $754. B5, Diane Gropp, Southwest 72nd Street and West Sprague Road in the amount of $1,259. B6, Janice M. Lemon, South 96th Street and Roca Road in the amount of $270. B7, Old Greg LLC, South 112th Street and Pioneers Boulevard in the amount of $2,708. Item C, grant contracts with the following. C1, the Asian Community and Cultural Center for the servicing of refugee and other migrant youth program in the amount of $19,051. C2, Omni Interactive Care for the Truancy Diversion Program in the amount of $4,873. 4D, received and replaced the following reports for January 2023. 1, the Assessor Register of Deeds. 2, Records and Information Management. And 3, County Clerk.
Move approval of the consent items?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the consent items. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Schulte,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. Item 5, new business. Item A, recommendations from the Personnel Policy Board. 1, create the classification of the Quality Assurance Coordinator.
Good morning. How are you guys doing today? Barb McIntyre, Human Resources. Let me just pull up my file quick. This is for Human Services, and my file's not pulling up, so I'm going to do this from memory, but they got a grant, and so they're using that grant money to create this position. It's to help them do some analysis of data, take a look at the program, and be able to really look at what assistance and data will help them in the delivery of their services and basically measuring those and improving those. My file just opened. Yep, that was it. I didn't miss anything.
And it is completely grant funded, you said?
Completely grant funded, yes. And someone is doing this work now, so it'll be expanding it to that grant funded position.
How long will the grant be in place?
That is not in my notes. I do not know that answer. You know, Nicole, how long the grant's in place? Sorry, we don't know that answer, but I can find that and get it to you.
Yeah, that would be good to know.
Okay.
Are we going to do these one at a time then?
Let's do them one at a time.
I would move approval of item 5A1.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve to create the classification of the quality assurance coordinator. Please call the roll.
Amundson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. Item 5A2, create the classification of corrections sergeant.
This one, I want to just pivot it slightly. It's not creating it, it's actually just revising it, and the revision is very minimal. What we really wanted to note and why we revised it is those sergeants work any of 3 shifts and a number of specialty roles, and that was not distinctly spelled out before in the job description, and we really want to accurately capture that that is an essential function of the job, that they might be called into any of those posts and on any of those shifts. So that's the change. It's a revision.
And so what that is may be assigned to any operational position. That's
Yes.
the new language.
Any operational position in any work shift.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, move approval.
I will second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the revision of the classification of corrections sergeant. Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Vest,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. Item 5A3, change the pay grade of juvenile detention supervisor from C11 to C12.
Yeah, so when we negotiated the last contract for the group, we added in that step 9 because we had a lot of really long tenured employees that had been juvenile detention workers, and we really wanted to recognize they were not getting the same kind of bumps as someone at the beginning of that pay range. What that did, there's always, it seems like that next unintended consequence, but it caused compression between that group and the supervisors. And so now if someone was to promote, there just really isn't a significant pay increase enough to incentivize them to continue to move up in their career chain. This does move the pay range at the lower end. It's only $2,000 between where it is today and where we're moving it. At the upper end, it's about $3,000. I'm going to round it. So it's not a significant shift, but it is enough to put that range back to kind of where it was so we can incentivize people to move up into those supervisor roles and take on that additional responsibility.
We see this repeatedly as one
Yeah.
facet changes, it has impacts on others. And we had a very thorough briefing on this. I would move approval.
And I would second.
We have a motion and a second, and I might just note that these recommendations have all been before the Personnel Policy Board, before that we even saw them. So they've been thoroughly vetted. Is there any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Vest,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. Item 5B, Exceptional Circumstance Award under Personnel Rule 17.9B for John Lindbow, County Engineering, for a one-step pay increase.
Pam Dingman, Lancaster County Engineer. I know that I most often am the face of engineering that you see day to day. I'm talking about the engineering projects, but the reality is, especially with the magnitude of projects that we currently have, there is a large team back at County Engineering that day in and day out spends the time with the fine details of the design, from the finest detail of the drainage to line of sight on the road. And John Lindbow is one of those engineers. John is a licensed engineer. He has a lot of experience in the area of microstation, and he came to us from NDOT. So with our federal aid projects that we have going on, John is an instrumental person. He actually is the only licensed engineer that works on the work floor. He's been a great mentor to his coworkers, and so that is why I'm bringing this forward for an exceptional circumstance award. Normally, I would bring the employee down with me, as you guys also may not be aware, I'm not really the average engineer. I am a people person. I enjoy being out and communicating with people. My engineers would just rather be at the office designing engineering. And so John said, hey, I would come down, but I really want to finish some of these major projects we're working on, Pam. And so I think he's probably watching and critiquing from the office. With that, I would ask for your approval on this one-step increase.
I would move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Schulte,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. Item 5C, contract with Kubert Appraisal Group for the appraisal of land at Northwest 84th Street and West Branch to Oak Road in the amount of $3,200.
Alex Olson, Lancaster County Engineering, right-of-way manager. We have a project that we're working on out there, and we're in negotiations, and this is part of this negotiation, and we're asking for the approval to go ahead and move forward with an appraisal contract with Kubert Appraisal.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Amundson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. Item 5D, resolution in the matter authorizing the county board chair to sign the supplemental task order agreement with JEO for preliminary engineering services.
Item 5D and the item that follows it. So this first item is, of course, authorizing the signature of the supplemental agreement, and the following item is the supplemental agreement and the signing of it itself. This is for intersection improvements at 148th and Holdridge. These are safety improvements. They are paid for under the Highway Safety Improvement Program. And so this is an 80-20 split. And so what you're seeing here is this is the geotech testing that we need to do to make sure that we're compacting the soil right, getting the right pavement thickness, and those sort of details. So that's why I asked for your approval on the following two items.
I move approval. Can I do D and E together, or do they need to be separate?
Let's do them separate.
Okay, for item D.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Seeing no further discussion, please call the roll.
Vest,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. Item 5E, supplemental task order agreement with JEO for preliminary engineering services, addition of traffic control for geotech testing in the amount of $3,320.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Vest,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. 5F, agreement with Lancaster Rural Water District Number 1 for the relocation of underground utility facilities necessitated by the county's construction work on Roca Road. The estimated cost of the county is $32,954.35.
Pam Dingman, Lancaster County Engineer. So it turns out Rural Water District is a tongue twister. Who knew? That being said, this is for the relocation of a rural water line around the area of Bridge R-148, which is on Roca Road. We're trying to get the utility relocation done for both bridges in this corridor at the same time to get a little bit of cost savings. As you can see, relocating these rural water lines is very expensive for our projects.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Schulte,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. Item 5G, agreement with the Lancaster Rural Water District Number 1 for the relocation of underground utility facilities necessitated by the county's construction work on Roca Road. The estimated cost of the county is $37,128.85.
Pam Dingman, Lancaster County Engineer. Bridge S-180 is the bridge located on Roca Road that is currently closed. It will require relocation of the rural water line at this location also. This location, the relocation is a little bit more extensive because some of our work in this area has been a little more extensive for this particular structure.
Move approval?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Amundson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. 5H, license agreement with BNSF Railway Company to construct, maintain, and use a communication line across or along the BNSF corridor near the station of Denton in Lancaster County. The cost to the county is $450 for a 20-year license.
Alex Olson, Lancaster County Engineering Right-of-Way Manager. One of the other duties that I get to do is help keep track and be the first line in utility permits and that sort. This license between us and Burlington Northern is for the broadband project. This is a boring underneath the railroad tracks just east of Denton. It's kind of in between their lagoons and the town. Will be basically just an agreement with us and Burlington Northern that Burlington Northern will allow us to have our conduits there.
Well, it's absolutely necessary to get that conduit under there.
It
And I
is.
think that $450 for a 20-year license is really quite reasonable.
Yep.
So I would move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second.
Not much you can do for $450 for 20 years.
Please call the roll.
Vest,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0.
Thank you.
Item 5I, grant agreement with the Nebraska Emergency Management Agency to add 3 outdoor warning sirens to the existing network of sirens providing coverage to Lancaster County.
Good morning, Mark Hosking,
Morning.
Deputy Emergency Manager for Lincoln Lancaster County. This is the next step with our hazard mitigation grant. We just need signatures on this document to move forward.
Move approval.
I would second, I would just add that, you guys' ongoing work of preparedness for whatever. This is going to expand our early warning system sirens, and we'll have more coverage in certain areas that we don't have now.
Correct.
Mark. Could you
Yep.
just identify those areas that are gonna benefit from these?
Yes, they're going to be out by the racetrack off of Warlick. Is it Warlick off there? We're looking at going north of town and then one location out east of town. We are going out into the rural settings primarily as the city and the communities grow. That's where we're looking to identify those areas.
So important to be proactive.
Oh. Thank you.
Did you second?
I did second.
Okay.
I thought I did.
We have a motion and a second.
Somewhere in there, it felt
Yeah,
like.
there is.
Please call the roll.
Vest,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. Item 5J, contract with World Class Office Installers Incorporated to provide unit system installation/moving services. The cost of the county is not to exceed $15,000.
I move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Schulte,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. Item 6 is the legislative update.
Do we have any items to discuss?
I do not.
Please proceed.
Excuse me. Item 7 is public comment. Those wishing to speak on items related to county business not on the agenda may do so at this time.
I don't see anyone coming forward.
Item 8 is announcements. The Lancaster County Board of Commissioners will hold a staff meeting on February 9th, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. in room 112 of the County City Building. B, the Lancaster County Board of Commissioners will hold its next regular meeting on Tuesday, February 14th, 2023 at 9 a.m. in room 112 of the County City Building. Item C, County Commissioners can be reached at 402-441-7447 or commish@lancaster.ne.gov. Item D, the Lancaster County Board of Commissioners meeting is broadcast live on LNK TV. LNK TV is available on Allo Channel 2 and Spectrum Channel 1300. For the rebroadcast schedule, visit lincoln.ne.gov. Meetings are also streamed live on YouTube and Facebook. LNK TV apps are available in Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire TV.
Move we adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. Please call the roll.
Amundson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes,
Item carries.
we are now adjourned, and we will open the Lancaster County Board of Equalization meeting for Tuesday, February 7th, 2023.
Location announcement of the Nebraska Open Meetings Act. A copy of the Nebraska Open Meetings Act is located on the wall of the rear of the hearing room. Additionally, all written materials discussed at today's open meeting is available for electronic viewing from the county clerk staff. Printing options are available upon request. These materials can also be viewed on the county's website at lancaster.ne.gov. Item 1 is the minutes. Item 1A, approval of the minutes of the Board of Equalization meeting held on Tuesday, January 17th, 2023.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Vest,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes,
Motion carries 4-0. Item 2, additions and deductions to the tax assessment rolls.
Move approval of the additions and deductions to the tax assessment rolls.
I will second.
we have a motion and a second to approve the additions and deductions to the tax assessment rolls. Please call the roll.
Vest,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes,
Motion carries 4-0. Item 3, the appeals on disqualification from special greenbelt valuation. Item A, Patrick and Tracy Thomas.
Hi, Derek Niederklein with the Lancaster County Assessor's Office. The property at issue here is a 14.34 acre tract that, upon review, we've concluded is no longer used for the primary purpose of production of an agricultural or horticultural product. So that was the reason for the denial.
Well, we have a letter from the individual involved, Derek, that you've no doubt seen, claiming that he pastures 4 to 6 steers every summer. Total acres I farm are 250. We're not questioning the 250. There's a portion of it that doesn't qualify for greenbelt.
Correct. If I could show this picture here to maybe clarify. Okay. This is the parcel in question, and when we're looking at the primary use for special valuation, the law requires us to look at the primary use excluding buildings and directly associated land. So any land that's associated with the buildings is excluded from the analysis, and then we look at the remainder. So there's about 6 acres here that are associated with the home site and the building site. So then we look at the remaining acres. The portion here is used for a motocross track, and the portion here is also used for a motocross track for recreational purposes. There is a piece here of about a half an acre of dry land that is being used for ag purposes, but we're looking at the totality of the remaining 8 acres, and the question is that parcel, are those 8 acres in total being primarily used for the production of an agricultural or horticultural product? So that's that was the basis for the rejection. The fact that the property owner farms additional land in the area doesn't have an impact on the 4 corners of the parcel that we were assessing.
Am I correct that it's the state of Nebraska that sets the greenbelt requirements, and that's what we go by?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Are parcels like this identified through some kind of review process, or what leads to a change in the greenbelt.
Right.
process?
A variety of things. Our land use review is ongoing, so it could be something, we're required to review these properties at least once every 6 years by state law, but our review is ongoing. So that could be anything from doing a sale review in that area and identifying a parcel that's no longer used for ag purpose, or the owner having us do an inspection on another part of the parcel, which brings the ag use in question. So it could be a variety of things that are brought to our attention, but the review is just on an ongoing basis.
Is there also a requirement that so much income must be taken off of the?
So that's not enumerated in the law. There's no income test for that. So what we're looking at is the primary use of the additional acres, and it does have to be for the commercial production of an agricultural, horticultural product. If someone has a garden or something like that, and it's not for the commercial production, then it wouldn't be approved.
I would move that we deny the appeal.
Yeah, based on the information that's being provided to us this morning, I would second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion?
I just want to clarify. So if I vote yes, I'm denying the appeal, right? It's a yes for a negative. Is that correct?
Good clarification.
Yeah.
We would be voting yes to deny the appeal.
Okay.
Please call the roll.
Schulte,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. Item 4, public hearings. The public hearing for item A of motor vehicle tax exemption applications for Mercy City Church, Seostris Shrine, Lux Center for the Arts, Bethel Baptist Church, Family Service Association of Lincoln, Pius X High School, Lutheran Family Services, People's City Mission, Troop 12 Foundation Incorporated, the Salvation Army, Centerpoint Incorporated, Adventure Source Incorporated, and Mount Zion Baptist Church.
Move approval.
We'll now open the public hearing.
Oh, public
For the
hearing,
motor vehicle tax exemption applications.
Okay.
Is there anyone here to speak on any of these applications? Seeing none, we can close the hearing, the public hearing.
Item 5, action on the following. A, the motor vehicle tax exemption applications.
Move approval.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second to approve the motor vehicle tax exemption applications. Please call the roll.
Amundson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. Item 6 is public comment. Those wishing to speak on items related to the County Board of Equalization business not on the agenda may do so at this time.
Is there anyone here wishing to speak? Seeing no one, please proceed.
Item 7 is adjournment.
Move we adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. Please call the roll.
Vest,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0.